This was a vast country with a history of hockey. We couldn't believe that one of the greatest teams was on the verge of extinction.
Now an American team has a stake in Russian hockey, rescuing an entire sport from thin ice.
It's complete chaos.
Trust me, I'll make you a good capitalist.
The Red Army team is 50% owned by the Pittsburgh Penguins and a group of investors that includes movie and TV star Michael J. Fox.
And you called them what?
Well, they're called the Russian Penguins.
What a twist right there. That's part of the trailer of a new documentary called Red Penguins. Get it? Because owned by the Penguins. Red Penguins is the story of an American man's effort to transform a famous hockey team into the greatest show in Russia. It's described as a Coen Brothers movie, but it's actually true.
And Red Penguins is a mix of Hollywood, hockey, and just general craziness. So Jason recently got a chance to talk to the director of the movie, along with the man at the center of the film.
Thanks, guys. Gabe, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Okay, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this documentary came after a screening of another documentary that you did. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, no, you're right. So it was the film I did previously called Red Army, which was about the rise and fall of the Soviet Union, but told through the kind of the greatest sports dynasty in history, that Red Army program in Russia that kind of dominated hockey for, I don't know, 40 years. And so this new film came about because when I was promoting that film, you know, with the festivals, after one of the screenings, this guy, Steve Warshaw, came up to me, who's here. And he's kind of this wacky guy that came up to me after one of the screenings and said, I've got the craziest story you won't believe. It's about the same team, but it's about what happened in the 90s and about this unlikely, almost unimaginable business venture that happened between the Pittsburgh Penguins and this famous Red Army team, where the Penguins bought 50% of the team.
That's nuts. When you heard that from Steve, what did you think?
I mean, it was crazy because the premise is crazy. The idea of this team being kind of run by the Soviet military. It was the national pride of Russia. It went bankrupt and was ultimately, you know, they were going to become extinct, this famous team. And so they had to go to their enemy, America, to basically raise money and help save the team. And so there's this very eccentric owner for Pittsburgh, Howard Baldwin, that basically thought it would be a great idea to basically own this legendary franchise.
Watching the trailer, I'm like, oh, this, first of all, was a great trailer. The marketing department did a great job. And I love a good trailer. I'm watching it, and then Michael J. Fox pops up, the last person I expected to see in your doc. How? Why? Why is Alex P. Keaton in your documentary?
Yeah, well, Michael J. Fox, was a huge hockey fan. And, at the time he was in the 90s, one of the biggest stars in the world. And he kind of fell in love with this idea, thought it was like just so crazy and interesting to become an owner of this Soviet military team that, was legendary. So he had a lot of fun kind of just telling people that he was an owner and Steve is here. And basically he would always want to see kind of paraphernalia that they were selling over there, and he was just like really excited about it. He didn't know what was happening on the ground and how difficult and crazy the country was in the 90s, so he didn't know that until later.
Stephen, explain your point of view. I mean, when you're trying to get this made and you approach Gabe, I mean, did you face resistance for this story?
Yeah, Gabe just came off this beautiful film, Red Army, which set the standard for, sports documentaries. And basically my pitch to Gabe was, if you just film the beauty of Russian hockey, I got the beast for you. And that's how it started, because it was an ugly story, not the pretty Fab Five that he had covered in Red Army.
Were you, Russia, and I'm not making a joke here, is a touchy subject in any category. Stephen, did you have any apprehension? Did you face any headwinds trying to bring the story to Gabe or just bring it to light in general?
No, I was lucky. I was invited to the screening in New York, and I was surrounded by hockey royalty. The New York Rangers front office was there, a lot of NHL guys. So to me, I'm a documentary film freak. So I love docs and hockey, so it was just a natural.
Gabe, back to you. Obviously, we're in a very interesting era where a lot of movie theaters are basically showing The Empire Strikes Back, and in terms of endearment. So for you, releasing a product now at home and in streaming platforms, do you find that to be almost an advantage because you kind of have, for lack of a better term, a captive audience? Are you looking at the lemons to lemon pound cake kind of scenario?
I'm lucky in that, for documentaries, it's very rare that you have kind of a big studio releasing the film. So we've got Universal Pictures, which is really great. And, I think, obviously you're right, Jason, that people are at home right now and looking for new things to watch. And this is, a really fun, crazy film that's kind of out of the box. And for docs, it's hard to get people to go to the theater for docs anyways. So, I'm fine with people watching this at home and being entertained and learning something new about Russia. There are very few, if any, films out there about Russia and the culture and the people and how it interacts with Americans that are sort of real. You see a lot of caricature stuff, but there's almost no films that really get you inside the culture.
Well, guys, thank you. Stephen, thank you, my friend. Gabe, always a pleasure. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Jason. Good luck to you.
Thanks,
Jace. Thank you.
Back to you guys in the studio.
I've watched a 30 for 30 on the Russian viewpoint of Miracle. I've watched The Miracle, our version of it. All of these things about Russian hockey, absolutely fascinating. So even if you're not a huge hockey fan,
you're definitely going to be watching this.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be pretty good. Yeah. Red Penguins is available to rent starting today. Go to redpenguinsmovie.com for more information.